My first weekend at our college. I'm clearly not doing these stories in chronological order. I arrived at Allegheny Center Apartments, which was only 3 blocks away from what was then known as Three Rivers Stadium and is now known as PNC Park, the school-sponsored housing for the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, on a Friday in October of 1994. I didn't bring a lot with me, just what were the essentials for me at the time. I brought my portfolio kit bag, which I had to save up $450 for, my clothes, a cushion chair that folded out into a bed, an end table my great aunt gave me, which I used for my entertainment center, which included an old Commodore 64 computer monitor, a 4-head stereo VHS VCR, and a Panasonic Real 3DO interactive multiplayer, which, along with the $450 portfolio kit bag, I saved up all summer for. That first week was pretty uneventful. I made a friend in my color theory and design classes, a bald, punk rock guy. My bald classmate invited me to his apartment for a party and to watch movies. I showed up. Everyone was drinking. I was not yet old enough to drink. In a few more months I would be, but I was offered drinks anyways, as is quite typical at college parties. I do not condone underage drinking. Suddenly we hear a bunch of noise coming from outside. My classmate and I decided to go out on his balcony to check it out. Evidently a Pittsburgh Steelers game just ended, and being only 3 blocks from the stadium, there was a lot of traffic, both vehicle and pedestrian traffic, going past our apartment building, but that's not where the noise was coming from.
The Steelers suck!
One of the college student on one of the balconies shouts to the college student with the paper cone up to his mouth, "Get that penis out of your mouth." The guy with the makeshift megaphone looked embarrassed and went back inside. I was standing on the balcony with my bald, punk rock friend. I laughed so hard that I accidentally spilled my drink onto a man's head a few floors beneath us. The man got angry and stormed off into his apartment. The guy from downstairs started pounding on the door. My friend went to the door and explained it was an accident, and he completely de-escalated the situation. We went back out onto the balcony. By this time, everyone was out on their balconies, at least on that side of the building, and it was absolute chaos. As I said, it was absolute chaos. Students were throwing glass and trash off of their balconies and out of their windows. One student won a huge, heavy glass ashtray off of the balcony, and it shattered on top of a city bus. There was a couple walking past, and the next thing I knew, someone launched a bottle rocket at them. The bottle rocket whistled past and exploded right behind the couple, making them jump in fear.
I'm gonna write up everyone I see who throws another object off of the building, and you'll be kicked out!
That was the end of my crazy first week at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I do not condone any of what happened here, and I didn't participate. I was merely an observer. What those students were doing was extremely dangerous. Someone could have been seriously injured or killed, but fortunately no one was.